So Josh, I'm sure you would agree, a big issue, not just now, but it always has been a bit of an issue, is people coming into the fitness industry. Let's say they complete their level 2 and 3. They've got all the knowledge, but then they go to start a business. And it's about building that initial client base that people struggle with. It's really getting that foot in the door. Of course, you've been running the PT business for well over a decade now. So just want to get your take on what's the best way to approach this as a newcomer.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've got it spot on there with what you're saying. Like, that so many of the guys come into personal training and think, now that I've got my qualification, I understand the parameters of coaching, then I'm just going to be able to be given clients, and that is not the case. The first 18 months of me being a PT, I worked as an employed PT. I was fortunate enough that I was working employed, because if I went straight down the self-employed route, I don't know whether I'd ever make it, because I didn't have that understanding of how to actually pick up clients. I had that salary, had that opportunity. Fast forward probably 3-4 months, I'd had 1 to 2 clients, and that's all I'd picked up. So I need to change things here. I know what I'm doing when I'm in front of someone, but I'm not in front of enough people. So that's what I need to get better at. I need to get better at selling myself and selling what I can give them. And then that then creates a pathway of being able to get in front of more people, generate more sales, more PT. Fast forward from the 3 months where I've got maybe 2 clients to the end of those 18 months, I left the company. I was actually working at Nuffield Health. I left after 18 months because I was generating 20 to 25 PT sessions a week on average then, which meant it was a no-brainer for me to move to self-employed because of the cut that they took. And then I moved from that. So the sales element is the most important thing for you to get in front. You can have all the qualifications, you can have all the knowledge, but if you cannot showcase that to the person in front of you, you're screwed.
Yeah, and what have you found the most success with? Is there a strategy or an approach that you found works best, not only on the gym floor, but selling to clients in general and gaining that initial client base?
Yeah, absolutely. With face-to-face, we're just talking solely face-to-face PT and getting people on the gym floor. Fundamentally, you need to speak to as many people as possible on that gym floor. Now, I don't mean being a pushy salesperson in any way, shape or form, just that first contact. That can just be eye contact, that can be saying hello to people as they come through. You do that 2 or 3 times, that engagement there, it's going to be far easier for you to then go and actually have a chat with them and create that next conversation, that next pillar. If you have a complete deadpan and you've never spoken to them before and you're going to go and try and hit them with a hi, how are you, hard sell, whatever it may be, their barriers are already up. Whereas if you've acknowledged them, you've said see you later, or did you have a good session, and those things have started to be broken down, you can then find it far easier to have that conversation about, okay, so what is it they're training for? And finding out that information to start to understand them as a person, build that personal relationship. Ultimately then the only person they're ever going to buy PT from is you, because you've made the effort there. Very, 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 very rarely you're going to get someone who's just going to come up to you and go, I want PT. Why would they say that to you? They don't know you. The only time that might potentially happen is if they have either seen you train and they like the way that you do things there, or they like your appearance. You might get certain guys and girls who get people who train with them because they want to aspire to look like them. But that happens a lot less than what people think. Like, just because you've got in your pants and gone and done a show, you think you're going to be able to pick up 20 people who want to get on stage. Don't happen. Like, it doesn't. So yeah, it's fundamentally building those bridges, speak to as many people as possible and start actually caring about what they're saying.
And that's the kind of the fundamentals of sales in general, isn't it? Building that rapport. That's whatever you're selling, whatever you're doing, whatever your product is, whether it's, cars or personal training or online coaching courses, building that rapport is kind of the first step.
Absolutely, it is. And the personal training, the words, what you are, that first word is personal. Like that ultimately, they want to be with you. You've got to give them a personal approach. We've said it before, and we use it in the course as well. It's like, don't be a something for everyone PT, be an everything to someone. What that person needs, you give them. If that means that you need to be more responsive to texts and stuff because they have more questions and things, you need to be more responsive to those. That's what you give them. If they need more just motivation to come into the gym, that they're good with their nutrition and stuff outside, but they just need the motivation to come in 3 times a week, you give that to them, whatever it may be. But that's where you only get to know what that person needs by engaging with them as much as you can, by asking questions, by building rapport. You do that, You find out what their likes are, you find out what their pain points are. It's far easier for them to create an individual package for that person.
Yeah. And in terms of a new personal trainer who maybe doesn't have these skills yet of building rapport and sales, because a lot of people, let's say if they just come from a fitness background, they may not have the interpersonal or the sales skill to build those relationships. Is there any advice that you'd give to people? So like, let's say they're on the gym floor, they looking to approach people and start these conversations, but they're terrified. They don't know how to initiate that conversation. How would you go about that?
First and foremost, take the sales element away from the conversation. Don't think I'm going to try and approach this person to get money out of them as a client, because straight away, that awkwardness, like you say, if you're not very good at selling yourself, you're already coming into that conversation slightly awkward. Don't do that. Go in as if it was a guy, as if you're just having a chat with this person down at the pub. Like, how would you start that conversation if you were at the bar? Or if you're trying to chat them up, but really not. But depending on what you would do, chatting up then becomes sales. But anyway, but just have a general chat with them about a person, whoever is in front of you, whether they're CEO of a multi-million pound company or they're working as a nurse down the road. The conversation can be initiated in the exact same way. You don't know about them at this moment in time. You don't know what they do. They may be wearing decent stuff or whatever it may be, so it makes you think that they've got money, but ultimately you don't know anything about them. Just have a general chat. And when you're new to that gym floor, it's the easiest way to start because you're new. So you can just go and introduce yourself like, hi, I'm Josh. I've just started over here at the gym group, Pure Gym, wherever I am. How long have you been a member? How's your training going? Like, what sort of stuff do you enjoy doing? Do you live local? Like those sort of, do you have any kids? Start to find out about them. When I was at Nuffield, I had someone who I worked with and they were really good at the sales aspect. And what they ultimately said was if you find out 3 personal points about them in the conversation, if you're not very good at remembering those personal points, once you've had that chat with someone, go off back to wherever you were, wherever the station, if you've got a desk, you'll always have a desk in the gym. Just make note of those notes of who that person was. If you can find out 3 personal things about these people that you can then bring up again the next time they're in, that relationship's starting to form massively. Don't try and do a hard sell. Build that relationship there. And if you can remember those points and bring that up time and time again, it's worth its weight in gold. And if you do that, if I could do that on shift, say I'm on a shift and I'm on a 4-hour shift at a Pure Gym, and I want to go out and find 3 facts about someone, realistically, that's going to take me about 10 minutes. I'm on a 4-hour shift, might have to do a couple of bits. But I could do that with 10, maybe 15 people every single shift. Conversion rate at the beginning for you to pick up clients is probably going to be 1 in 10 people you chat with might buy PT from you in the next few months. So if you're only talking to 3 people at a time, chances are you're not picking up many clients that month. If you're talking to 15 people at a time, it's metrics, your numbers are going to be far higher. If I speak to 10 people and you speak to 1, I'm 10 times more likely to pick up a client. It's simple maths, but people don't want to sort of bring that sort of into play, but it is. That's all it is.
Makes sense.